did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
What if the future of humanity rested in the hands of someone who once slept on a couch in a rented office, or both rent and food at the same time? What if the man trusted with electric transportation, private spaceflight, satellite internet, artificial intelligence warnings, and the dream of Mars once had negative money, crushing debt, and no clear path forward? Before we begin, if you enjoy deep stories about real people who change the world, not through comfort but through sacrifice, obsession, and risk, make sure you subscribe and stay connected. These are not highlight reels. These are the full journeys behind the headlines. Now, let us go back to the beginning. Elon Musk's story does not start in Silicon Valley, nor does it begin with rockets or electric cars. It begins in Pretoria, South Africa, in 1971. On June 28th of that year, Elon Reeve Musk was born into a family that looked stable from the outside. His father, Errol Musk, was an engineer. His mother, May Musk, was a model and dietitian. On paper, it looked like the ideal foundation. The reality was very different. Behind closed doors, Elon's childhood was marked by emotional and physical hardship. He has spoken openly about growing up in an abusive household. His father was controlling, harsh, and often cruel. Elon later described him as a terrible human being, someone capable of carefully thought-out cruelty. School was no escape either. Elon was quiet, socially awkward, and deeply introverted. He was bullied relentlessly. At one point, the bullying became so severe that Elon was beaten badly and pushed down a flight of stairs, leaving him unconscious and hospitalized. He was a child who did not fit into his environment, but instead of breaking him, it pushed him inward. Books became his refuge. By a very young age, Elon was reading encyclopedias, cover to cover. Science fiction shaped his imagination. Physics gave him structure. His mother noticed something unusual early on. She later said that by the age of 3, Elon could reason with adults in ways that did not feel normal for a child. His mind was constantly working. When Elon was put into school a year early, that difference only became more obvious. By the time he was 5 or 6, he believed he might be insane. Not because he was detached from reality, but because his mind never stopped producing ideas. He later described it as a constant explosion of thoughts that could not be turned off. This mental intensity would define his entire life. At age 10, Elon got access to his first computer. He taught himself how to program because he loved video games. There was no grand plan at first. He simply wanted to understand how games worked so he could build his own. Then he realized something important. If he could write software and sell it, he could buy better computers. At 12 years old, Elon created a simple space-themed game called Blaster and sold it to a computer magazine for $500. It was not about the money, it was proof. Proof that ideas could become real. By his late teens, Elon knew he needed to leave South Africa. Military service was mandatory, and he saw limited opportunity there. Using his mother's Canadian citizenship, he moved to Canada and later enrolled at Queen's University before transferring to the University of Pennsylvania. He graduated with dual degrees in economics and physics. He believed economics would teach him how systems move money. Physics would teach him how the universe actually works. In 1995, Elon enrolled in a PhD program at Stanford. He dropped out after 2 days. The internet was exploding, and he believed waiting would cost him his chance. With little money, heavy student debt, and no safety net, Elon moved to Silicon Valley. He tried to get a job at Netscape, the most important internet company at the time. They never replied. That rejection changed everything. If he could not get a job, he would create one. Along with his brother Kimball, Elon started Zip2, a company designed to help newspapers move their content online. They worked non-stop. Elon could not afford both an apartment and an office, so he rented the office and slept on a couch. He showered at the local gym. He had negative money and massive debt, but he kept building. The early days were brutal. Customers did not understand the internet. Some had never even heard of it. But slowly, deals came in. Small wins turned into bigger contracts. Zip2 signed major clients like the New York Times. After nearly 4 years of struggle, Compaq acquired Zip2 in 1999 for $305 million. Elon walked away with roughly $22 million. Overnight, he went from sleeping on a couch to being a multimillionaire. For a brief moment, the world saw a flashy version of Elon Musk. He bought a $1 million McLaren F1 and appeared on television talking about Silicon Valley wealth. But even then, he said something that would define the rest of his life. He was not interested in islands or luxury. He wanted to build again. Only 1 month after selling Zip2, Elon founded X.com, an online financial company designed to modernize banking. One feature changed everything. Users could email money to each other. Each transaction recruited new users automatically. Growth became exponential. X.com eventually became PayPal. But success did not mean control. In 2000, while Elon was away on a combined honeymoon and fundraising trip, PayPal's board removed him as CEO. He returned to find himself fired from his own company. It was humiliating. But in 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon received about $165 million. Once again, what looked like failure turned into fuel. Instead of slowing down, Elon went all in. In 2002, he founded SpaceX with the goal of revolutionizing space travel. Rockets were too expensive. Progress toward Mars was non-existent. Elon believed he could build rockets at a fraction of the cost by rethinking everything from materials to reusability. Most experts laughed. At the same time, he invested heavily in Tesla, a small electric car startup founded by engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Elon did not start Tesla, but he became its largest investor and chairman, eventually stepping in as CEO. By 2008, everything nearly collapsed. SpaceX failed its first 3 rocket launches. Tesla faced production delays, rising costs, and a collapsing global economy. Elon poured almost his entire fortune into keeping both companies alive. He was working non-stop, sleeping in factories, and making impossible decisions. By December 2008, both SpaceX and Tesla were days from bankruptcy. Elon later said they had about a 10% chance of survival. At the same time, his marriage ended in divorce. Then, against all odds, SpaceX succeeded. Falcon 1 reached orbit on its 4th attempt. NASA awarded SpaceX a major contract. Tesla secured emergency funding just days before collapse. Elon survived by the skin of his teeth. Over the next decade, Tesla transformed the auto industry. The Model S proved electric cars could be desirable. The Model 3 pushed Tesla through manufacturing hell, but eventually scaled. By the early 2000s, Tesla became the most valuable automaker in the world. SpaceX did the impossible again. Falcon 9 rockets landed and were reused. Launch costs dropped dramatically. Starlink began providing global satellite internet. Starship became the most powerful rocket ever built, designed to take humans to Mars. Elon's ultimate goal never changed: make life multi-planetary. By 2026, Elon Musk stands as one of the most influential figures in human history. Loved by some, criticized by others, always controversial, always pushing forward. He does not build for comfort, he builds for survival. And whether humanity reaches Mars or not, one thing is certain. The future looks the way it does today because one person refused to give up, even when everything told him to quit.